Man, what's happening? It's your boy Drake Hunt. Y'all can just call me Drake or Drizzy. Uh, I don't know, I have too many other nicknames than that, just Drake and Drizzy. But yeah, man, welcome to NPE Horizons. I don't know why I chose to call this Horizons. It just sounded really cool. I was envisioning like, I'm gonna look out and like look forward beyond the horizon. But then I didn't want to call it Beyond the Horizon because that's corny as hell. But I was like, yeah, bro, it's gonna be Horizons. Cause like, I'm looking out towards the future. I represent the future. I like to look towards the future, see what's coming, keep plotting. You feel me? Yeah, man. Welcome to the podcast. It's your boy. Glad y'all tuning in. So this is what, day 12, 13, 14. We definitely coming up on a good 2 or 3 weeks now of this quarantine. This quarantine-ish, bro. Nobody is with this quarantine-ish. Let me tell you something. Oh, man. Corona. I'm 17 years old, about to turn 18 in maybe 6 weeks, and I'm going to high school, right? Like I'm going up to NMH, I go to a private boarding school. I'm there on full scholarship. And I'm about to graduate, going up there is opportunity of a lifetime. Forged all these great memories, met all these people from so many cultures and backgrounds and all over the country, all over the world, different religions, all that stuff, man. Had a wonderful time because of this virus, because they're mishandling this virus. Just global, just mishap, mayhem. Now I can't have a prom. Now I can't, maybe even I can't even walk across the stage, get my diploma. There's small things that, before when you were in school, you never really appreciated. Like, I never appreciated none of that stuff. I just kind of took it for granted. I was like, hey, man, I guess I got to be here so I can chase my dreams. But, man, I did not expect it just to blow up in flames like that. That begs a whole new question. And it's like, is the world falling apart? Like, that's really what it feels like, man. Like, just hold up in the house, nothing much to do except, do things like this and just try to get your thoughts out there. And you really start to just wonder, like, what's going on? Like, what's really going on out there? It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. And what's interesting is, no, I don't think that the world is going to fall apart. I definitely think that the system that is, propping up and propagating a lot of these, just the oppression that we're seeing, I think that system is definitely going to meet its an end very soon. I think that's exactly what's about to happen, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Like, I mean, the other day, like, you had the Fed, right? The Federal Reserve. They were out here talking about, bro, we might actually see 15, 20, 30% unemployment. The dude from St. Louis was like, yo, we're going to see 30% unemployment in a couple of months. The system that has caused so much of this oppression, the system that has caused just a lot of the chaos and vitriol, people, half the people who live in paycheck to paycheck in this country, universal health care and lack of, talking about millions upon millions of people without it. Talking about kids literally going to school and college and leaving with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. That system is about to meet its end, bro. 30% unemployment, millions of people jobless. Dude, the Great Depression, the highest unemployment rate was 25%. That's what we're seeing because of this corona stuff, bro. Corona is imploding the economy. Imploding the economy. And the system that we've had in this country, mark my words, it's going to see an end very soon. People aren't going to take that, bro. That's some of the worst economic conditions that we have seen in this country for definitely as long as any of us have been alive. And I'd say definitely competing for one of the worst crises in American history. You have something like that. I mean, last time we had an economic crisis like that, Great Depression, you had people literally lining up around blocks for food, like bread lines, like third world country type stuff. I mean, just disasters, like literal slums being erected. Hoovervilles, I think that's what they would call. It's crazy, man. And total economic and political unrest. Total unrest. People revolting, rioting. That's what you're going to start seeing, bro. Like, this is crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff, and I don't think people are honestly even expecting that type of stuff to come, all because of Corona. And like, for me, I'm young and healthy. Like, I'm not really thinking all about the actual impacts of the virus itself. But I mean, even then, the impacts of the virus itself are scary, bro. Like, the government has mishandled so much of it, and who knows? For real, like, who knows what's about to happen? This virus is just kind of just going out of control at this point, just spreading like wildfire. Thousands and thousands of new cases every day. Bodies just starting to pile up. Who knows? So you watch all this stuff happening, man. You start to think the world is falling apart. The world is coming just apart at the seams. That's really how it feels. It's crazy. Watching this stuff unfold as a young person, it hits differently. It definitely hits differently, bro. Cause this is our generation. Like, I'm Generation Z. You just think about, like, this is the world that we're inheriting. This is really the world that we're about to inherit. A world that, like the next 10, 20, 30 years are going to be affected by a potential coronavirus depression. Just think about that. And that's going to compound the whole list of issues that this society is having right now, man. An education crisis, a healthcare crisis, an infrastructure crisis. I think it was the National Organization or Association of Engineers. They gave our infrastructure, like the roads, the bridges, the wastewater treatment centers, all that type of stuff. They gave the infrastructure a grade of D-. All of these problems and phenomena that we're seeing, just disastrous stuff. And that's all going to be compounded now by a potential depression. Dude, this is stuff we got to deal with. I forgot, bro. The planet is dying. The planet is dying, bro. Serious stuff. The UN, the IPCC, the International Panel for Climate Change, they said that we have until 2030 to cut global emissions by 45%, or climate change becomes irreversible. You can look it up. That's not just 17-year-old me pulling stuff out of my ass. Like, that's serious stuff. So as a young person, you look at all this stuff, man. It's scary. You don't know if your kids and your grandkids are even gonna have a habitable planet to live on. You don't even know if you can go to college without busting your ass in debt. You don't even know if once you get there, if you're gonna be able to afford health care for a potential family. You don't know. You don't know if you can get a good, decent paying job. I mean, we ain't got a minimum wage, still $7.25 federally. So that's the world we're living in right now. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. But I will say this, man. For all this world's flaws, sometimes you gotta be grateful to be alive. You gotta be grateful to be alive, man. Sometimes I ask myself that question, like, would I have rather been born in a different era or just not be born at all? And the answer is always be born in a different era. But for sure, like I'll take being born now. Shoot, ain't nobody trying to die. Dude, death is scary. Yo, death is scary as hell. You feel me? Like nobody's trying to die. I'm not trying to die, bro. I don't know. Some people tell me like, yo, I'm not that afraid of dying. Like, it's just gonna happen, bro. Like, it's just gonna happen. Yeah, alright. Yeah, whatever, bro. If you on your deathbed, you gonna be a little scared, homie. It's natural. Like, we're programmed to not want to die. It's just how it is. I ain't trying to die, bro. Hey, look, that ain't me. That ain't me. Who knows what's up there, man? I don't care how messed up the world gets. I don't want to deal with what's up there. If it's anything. If it's not, then like shoot, that's kind of sad. Like, I was trying to live life. Dude, I'm 17. Like, bro, I ain't lose my virginity too long ago. Bro, but when I was a virgin, like I'm getting too deep. But like look, man, fuck it, it's my podcast. Look, when I was a virgin, I used to think to myself, like whenever I was in like a life threatening situation, yo, I really can't die right now, Chief. I'm still a virgin. I'm trying to get a nut before I die, homie. That's how it was. Still is though. Like, I got so many things I'm trying to do. Only 17. I'm a young buck. So that's how it is though, man. I'll tell you another thing. Being so young, being surrounded by this crop of kids, man, I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm a little worried for this generation. Cause no, I think we have so much potential. This technology and just all of that stuff. Like, we have so much potential. We have the tools, we have the resources necessary to do whatever we set our mind to. That's a fact. I know that. But one thing that definitely concerns me about this generation is this apathy. This is this apathy, bro. It's I don't understand why, with the world being the way it is, why we aren't revolting. Especially now, like after this coronavirus ish, bro. Talking about depression level economic conditions. You're talking about going to school, thousands of dollars in debt, no health care, no funding, no one out here giving a damn about us or our future. And we're not out here flipping cars. We're not out here throwing up picket signs. We're not out here doing demonstrations. Dude, there's literally gunmen ripping down our doors and shooting up schools. That's how it is now, bro. Planet's dying. We ain't doing a lick about it. Have a little ticking time bomb on the planet. Nobody doing nothing. I don't understand why we're not more angry. And I think that post-coronavirus, and all the crap that we're going to be dealing with the crisis literally confounding all the problems that we had before, I think the kids are going to start going crazy. Like my generation, that might be the fire that sets us off. We're all scared. We're all confused. We all pay attention to what's going on. It's not like we're stupid. I don't think we wanted to deal with whatever was happening. We didn't want to fight for our rights. We didn't want to do those things. But now, best believe, mark my words, when shit starts hitting the fan, enough is going to be enough. I genuinely believe that enough is going to be enough. Kids are going to be out there flipping cars. Kids are going to be out there having their voices heard. Kids are going to be out there in demonstrations going head to head with the police. That's how it's going to be. Dude, like, political unrest is coming because of this crisis. I think the youth are going to be right there. Right there. My generation right there. Talking about, yo, we need our rights. We need our freedoms. We need a society that works for all of us. Not just those people who, bought up your campaign. Word up to that, bro. Word up to that. One thing I'll say about the United States, and it's talking about what I just said about the campaigns. People, like, they're so naive sometimes. I think this is kind of the flaw of this whole 2020 presidential election cycle. This is before Corona started taking over all the headlines. People are so gullible. And they're operating under this false framework of what politics really is in America. They're so gullible, bro. Oh my God, they're so gullible. It's ridiculous, man. It blows me because it's like, Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or any single one of these establishment politicians, man, they're bought up. They're bought and paid for, my G. Bought and paid for, my G. But for some reason, they get enough votes to be able to become the nominee and then go on to lose. Blows my mind, my G. Blows my mind. They're bought and paid for, bro. Like, there's literally evidence out there of these super PACs and where they're getting their funding. And it's like they think we're stupid. But then some of these voters actually are. Like, bro, like, it's all out there. The paper trail is there. Goldman Sachs bought him here. You know, Citigroup brought him here. What the hell's the name? Aetna bought them here. You know what I'm saying? Pfizer Corporation bought them here. Big Pharma, health insurance, Wall Street, down the list of all these corporate interests, buying up these establishment politicians and buying influence. And then, what's even crazier, bro, is they vote for these interests. They go out and support these interests and vote for these interests. The money buys the influence. And now we're talking about all these terrible votes that they've done over the last 20, 30 years. Now in this election cycle. And then back then in 2016. And voters don't care. They're like, yo, whatever, bro. Like, it's whatever. Like, the mainstream media tells me that they're the only ones who can beat Trump. So I'm going to just go for it, dog. That's amazing. And what's crazier is, like, on the issues, they overwhelmingly stand with progressives. On the issues, it's not even a contest. 60+% of people want legal weed. 70-80+% of people want a Green New Deal. Right? Majority of the nation wants Medicare for all. 60+% of people want tuition-free college and canceling student debt. I think it's 95% of people want, strict gun reform. I think it was 90% of people want to get corrupt money out of politics. But yet you're voting against your interests. You're voting for a watered down version of your interests. And they get duped. They fall for it over and over again. You're falling for somebody who has routinely over the years not stood for you. And it's incredible to me, bro. It's incredible to me how it happens every time. But then you have to remember, they don't have the facts. Some people genuinely don't have the facts. That's the thing. Some people, they're stuck in a bubble. They're only getting their news from CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, the mainstream networks, right? That they're not going out and actively seeking, actively looking for the real information. Because it's all out there. It's not like this is like fringe stuff. Like, these are credible agencies doing the work and reporting the facts. But those are not the ones that, normal, just regular folks. So a lot of those people aren't going out to get that information. They don't have time for that stuff. They just flip on the TV, they get the propaganda, and they end up voting based on it. It's sad to see, bro. It's sad to see. But one thing I will say, man, is that people are starting to wake up bit by bit. It's not just, people don't just have their heads up their ass. Not everybody doesn't, Like, some people are really out there, man. Some people are really out there starting to wake up to the truth. There's a reason why Bernie Sanders is able to get 40+% of the Democratic electorate, man. There's a reason why he's the most popular politician in the States. There's a reason why Bernie Sanders is able to raise $100 million off of literally $18 a donation. Bro, it's because, like, people are waking up. People are waking up to the facts, bro. So it's definitely coming. It's definitely coming. I see it. But it is frustrating to see at the same time. It definitely is. And that's the ridiculousness of it when you really think about it. Like, people are really voting for corrupt crooks. That's what they are, the corrupt crooks. Hillary Clinton's a corrupt crook, bro. Joe Biden's a corrupt crook. Obama, as much as he's black and, I'm black, and I'm like, black politician, I want to be there someday. Dude, Obama, parts of him were corrupt and parts of him were definitely crookish, man. Straight like that. So it is ridiculous, but I will say it's definitely starting to change bit by bit. And that's just the sign of the times, bro. But see, this is one thing I think progressives also forget when they're thinking about the 2020 election. Bernie was a flawed candidate. And that's just a fact. Like, dude was a flawed candidate. It's not like this dude was perfect. Man, you're talking about a 78-year-old Jewish democratic socialist with a floppy ass set of white hair. Okay, and I want to reiterate here. He called himself a socialist. Okay, guys, listen. I am Mr. Progressive. You know me. If you know me, you know I'm Mr. Liberal, Mr. Progressive. I'm there for you on all the issues. But dude, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. America is not there when it comes to the socialist term. Now, it doesn't mean that Bernie can't win. In fact, I think that Bernie would have beat Trump both times. But what I'm telling you is, dog, people in terms of the Democratic primary electorate and in terms of just in general, that is always going to be a roadblock for a progressive when they label themselves as anything involving the term socialist. That's just the way it is. It's unfortunate. It's ridiculous. It speaks to the ignorance and stupidity of the way that, most of these voters are. I mean, people ain't got time to do the research. People are simply the product of all the propaganda that they're seeing. Like, that's how it is. But, like, man, it's a flawed candidate overall when you gotta, it's for a variety of reasons, but socialist term is definitely a huge part of it. And if you deny that, I'm sorry, you're just being disingenuous. And, it's, again, not just socialist term, it's also just, dude, like, just down to basic strategy and just the progressive movement. Like, you have to organize, you have to consolidate, you have to do the organizational work. You got to be out there, dog, and you have to be getting the entire progressive left behind you. That had to be work done in the years and years and years before he started running. And I'm sure he did a lot of that work. Like, he definitely tried, but in terms of the progressive movement moving forward, that has to be there. The organization has to be there. You can't have an Elizabeth Warren coming in and siphoning your votes. That can't be happening. And also, it does come down to the identity politics thing as well. Like, 78 Jewish, got the socialist term too. That definitely plays a factor. If you got somebody that maybe looked like, Barack Obama, if you had somebody that maybe looked like, I don't know, insert young attractive politician, and like, it's definitely a different look. Definitely different look. You don't have the ageism factoring in. I spoke to a lot of people who were like, yo, Bernie's dumb old, bro. I don't know if that man's about to keel over and die on us real quick. You know what I'm saying? They were like, nah, I don't know if that man's going to get my vote. People did come up to me and say that because they know I was, Bernie's man. And I was like, hey, bro, look, I ain't saying you wrong, but you need to chill. I don't know. But yeah, man. With Bernie, definitely a lot of flaws there. You had the identity politics going against you. You had the socialist term going against you, and just the strategy overall, man. When you have them, the only issue that they're beating you on is electability. That's the reason why old voters are coming out in droves against you, because they've been told by MSNBC, CNN, all these organizations that you can't win, right? And they're buying into the crap, which is what it is. But what you have to do is combat that narrative. You have to combat it tooth and nail. It has to be a major part of your stump speech, a major part of your media blitz. It has to be a huge part of your message moving forward. If you don't do that, you're doing your whole movement a disservice. Cause it's debate 101, right? I'm on a debate team in my school. What they teach you is, dude, if you're gonna debate, if you're gonna have like a clash of war of ideas, you make your point first, then they respond with their point. You can't just repeat all your same points. You got to go into what they said and why it was wrong, and also continue to prop up your points. That's how it has to go. There was no clash. There was no rebuttal. There was no, there was no refuting of what the establishment had to say about us, all the propaganda that they threw out. At least it wasn't to the degree that we needed, especially post Nevada and post South Carolina and then post Super Tuesday. Bro, Bernie should have been out there talking about how he was the most electable candidate, honestly, the whole freaking election cycle, but especially after Nevada when he had his foot on the establishment's neck, because he is the most electable. Progressive politics win, bro. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. Whenever progressive politics are given the chance, and you have the fundraising behind them, they win. They win. Because you're speaking to the issues that people care about. Our proposals are overwhelmingly popular. I think I just talked about that, bro. It's out there. The support is out there. But you got to run on it, and you got to make the case as to why we are the most electable. You got to package yourself in a way that is, easily, the people are going to easily coalesce to. Doesn't mean you got to change the principles, but you definitely got to change the packaging. I think that's marketing 101, man. So, that was some of the flaws that Bernie had. And, I love Bernie to death, and he's done so much for this movement. He's created the movement, and I think it's on people like me, people like whoever's listening to this, and, definitely AOC and Ilhan Omar, Rokana, all these people, Nina Turner, to pick up that torch and keep it moving, man. Keep the movement going. So that's kind of what I see as the future. For me, man, I want to be at the forefront of that. Definitely, I want to be at the forefront of that. That's my dream. Going off to college soon, man. Definitely looking into opportunities I can get into once I'm there, man. Just in terms of politics and stuff. Y'all got any ideas? Hit a brother up. Yeah. It's a good. It's a little podcast, man. I like this. But keep this going, man. I like this a lot, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If you listen all the way through, man, appreciate it. Definitely more on the way next week or two for sure. I'm gonna be collabing with another young YouTuber. I think his channel's called the FFF. I'm forgetting the rest of it, but look up the FFF. It'll pop up. We're gonna be collabing soon on Thursday, so y'all look out for that. Just more videos and stuff. Till next time, it's been your boy Drake. I'm out, man. Peace.